Welcome to this explainer. If you've ever felt like totally swamped by all the mixed up fitness advice floating around out there, you are 100% in the right place. Today, we're diving into some seriously interesting source material to cut through all that overcomplicated nonsense. We're gonna break down 5 simple principles for calisthenics progression that straight up guarantee results. But first, the material asks a really solid question. Why do we make working out so ridiculously complicated? I mean, we've all been there, right? You waste a ton of time just getting set up. You crank out a bunch of easy junk reps that build basically nothing. And you end up with sneaky imbalances that eventually turn into actual pain. And the absolute worst part, you miss just 1 week of training, and suddenly it feels like all your progress got wiped out. Super frustrating. All right, let's get into it. Here's the game plan for today. We're gonna start with the simplicity secret, then hit friction and difficulty, prioritize form over quantity, learn how to balance the body, prove exactly why consistency beats intensity, and finally dig into the internal factor. So first up, the calisthenics simplicity secret. Focus on the foundations. The big promise from our source material is actually super empowering. Calisthenics can build legit, real-world strength, but only if we stop making it way more complicated than it needs to be. And get this. Data suggests that by applying these exact foundational principles, you can improve your calisthenic skills by a wild 134%. We're talking about taking a chaotic, frustrating routine and turning it into something clean, simple, and effective. Which brings us to number 2. Friction and difficulty roam the barriers. The source calls out a brutal truth. When you skip a session, it usually isn't because you lack motivation. It's because there's too much friction. The wrong mindset is waking up and going, I should work out today. The right mindset is, I'll knock out my push-ups right here by the couch. Because let's be honest, if you've got to spend 10 minutes moving furniture around or digging for your gear, you've already killed the vibe. You need one clear, default spot in your home where you can drop down and start immediately. That brings us to our first quick check rule. If your setup takes more than 2 minutes, you are not ready. Every physical barrier between you and your workout is basically just another excuse waiting to happen. So yeah, you've got to ruthlessly cut that friction out. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The number 8. There's this huge myth out there that banging out 50 reps of an exercise builds elite strength. But honestly, once you're hitting 50 reps, you're not building strength anymore. You've basically created the world's most boring cardio workout. To scale difficulty the right way, you need to live in the sweet spot. If you fail before 6 reps, it's too hard. So you need to regress to something easier, like incline push-ups. But on the other hand, if you can hit 12 reps easily, like on knee push-ups, don't be a masochist and grind out 50 more. Just level up to a harder variation. You want to stay right in that middle sweet spot. And here's your second quick check. Stay strictly in the 6 to 10 rep range, or just use 8 reps as your gold standard benchmark. If an exercise feels too easy, your body is basically telling you, yeah, been there, done that. You've got to keep it challenging. Moving on to principle 3, form over quantity. Stops the sloppy reps. We really need to talk about how bad sloppy reps can be. The source material drops a fantastic rule. Perfect practice makes perfect. Sloppy practice makes sloppy. Your body is a crazy fast learner, And unfortunately, it learns bad movement patterns really fast too, so instead of rushing through 15 ugly half reps just to feed your ego, doing 6 clean reps, where your chest actually touches the floor, is gonna build way more real strength. That leads us straight into our third quick check. If your form falls apart by rep 5, stop right there or regress to an easier variation. Quality beats quantity every time. Here's one super practical tip. Prop up your phone and record your sets instead of doom scrolling between them, and only focus on one cue per exercise, like actively driving your elbows down during a pull-up. And that sets us up perfectly for point number 4. Balance your body, fix the weak links. If you only train the movements you already like, you're gonna build some nasty imbalances, and those lead straight to injuries and annoying plateaus. A strong body needs all 4 major pieces working together: push, pull, legs, and core. The classic trap is somebody doing push-ups every single day because they love them, while completely ignoring pull-ups for 6 months. Now let's do the math. The ideal foundational strength ratio is 3 push-ups for every 1 pull-up. So, if you can bang out 15 push-ups right now, but you can't pull yourself over the bar 5 times, you are objectively out of balance. You need to fix that weak link first. So here's quick check number 4. You should be able to do at least 1 pull-up for every 3 push-ups, because at the end of the day, you're only as strong as your weakest link. Fix the weak links, and the whole system gets stronger. Section 5. Consistency beats intensity. Build the habit. Now it's time to lightly roast those weekend warriors who swear by going full beast mode in one giant 2-hour punishment session every Sunday. Compare that to the smarter way to train. A 20-minute session on Monday, 20 minutes on Wednesday, and 30 minutes on Friday. Your body adapts to regular, repeated stress, not random bursts of self-destruction. So here's our 5th and final physical quick check. If you skip more than 2 workouts in a row, treat it like starting over. You have to build the streak before you build the muscle. And don't try to make up for it with some miserable 2-hour marathon workout just because you missed Tuesday. Just show up the next day and do your normal 20 minutes. Now let's zoom out and build toward the final section. The internal factor, biology and recovery. We've covered the physical side of the work, but we also have to talk about the internal biological reality your body needs in order to grow muscle and recover. The data gives us a pretty eye-opening fact. More than 1 in 4 guys actually have low testosterone. Keeping tabs on key biomarkers like testosterone, luteinizing hormone, vitamin D, and estradiol through simple at-home lab testing helps make sure your body can actually respond to all the effort you're putting in. So let's wrap this up with one last thought. Are you grinding through workouts while your biology is quietly working against you? Behind the scenes, mastering the physical basics of calisthenics is what opens the door to seriously advanced skills. But all of that still depends on an internal engine that's working just as hard as your muscles are. Keep showing up, keep it simple, and make sure that engine is dialed in. Thanks for hanging out and exploring this with us today.